Sea Lion Princess here, and welcome to my review for Frozen 2. Now, for those of you who don't know, normally what I do when I review new movies and such, I make both a spoiler-free review and a more in-depth review of the movie. But that was before I made one of my segments on here, Disney Magic. In that segment, I go very in-depth on my feelings to these different movies. So what's gonna happen is this review is going to be mostly spoiler-free until the very end. I will put up a spoiler warning. And then after that, I'll go a little bit more in depth on my initial thoughts. But what I kind of want to do from now on is not rate the movie until I do an episode of Disney Magic on it. Something I've noticed about myself doing these reviews is that I tend to let the hype of a movie kind of take over me sometimes, especially back when I reviewed the live-action Beauty and the Beast. I definitely feel that I was letting both of the hype for the movie and the nostalgia I had from the original dictate the rating I gave it. And I feel that way with some of the other movies that I've reviewed in the past as well. So I think the better thing to do is just to wait a little while before going too in-depth. So yeah, don't expect a episode of Disney Magic for Frozen 2 anytime soon, but in any case, let's get into it. So, Frozen 2. I don't think that it is any surprise that I was pretty excited for this movie. As I said in my Disney Magic episode for Frozen, I liked the first Frozen a lot, but it just felt like a Disney standard. And though I liked the movie, I didn't quite understand why Frozen got as popular as it did above any other Disney movies. But needless to say, after seeing the very first teaser trailer for Frozen 2, I was definitely interested, to say the least. And I'll be honest in saying, it didn't really disappoint too much. The animation was stunning, the music was amazing, and there were just a lot more memorable songs in Frozen 2 than the first movie. I loved all the characters' new outfits, and just the overall vibe that the movie gave. And not gonna lie, it does take a little bit of a darker turn, especially compared to the first movie, but keep in mind that this is Disney, and Disney runs on happy endings. So I really do like the plot for this movie, and it answers some long-awaited questions from the first movie. And it really does play well with the first movie. You know how there's some sequels, and you can just tell that the creators didn't initially plan on making a sequel for the original movie when the original movie first came out, but after seeing how popular the original movie got, they decided to make a sequel, and there are just plot devices in the sequel that should have been there in the original movie. Yeah, Frozen 2 is not one of those sequels. I was actually really surprised at how well they integrated this story with the first one, and to me, it feels like Frozen and Frozen 2 are just one big long movie, and that they do serve best when watched back to back. Frozen 2 even gives a little bit of meaning to some things in Frozen that didn't really have meaning at the time. It's kind of really cool. It's almost like Frozen is alluding to Frozen 2 and the events that will happen in Frozen 2, like in the background. The humor in Frozen 2 is really, really great. Olaf is just amazing. I really liked Olaf in the first Frozen, but he really shined here. They didn't overuse him or underuse him, and he actually does grow a bit as a character, which is nice to see. So, I feel like in Frozen 1, Anna is the main character. because we spend more time with her and her little adventure with Kristoff trying to get to Elsa than we really see of Elsa. But in Frozen 2, it's a little bit flipped, and Elsa is definitely more of a main focus. And we spend some more time with her rather than Anna. Though I do like the plot and everything that has to do with Elsa, I feel like the other characters do kind of get sidelined in a big way, especially Kristoff. He basically has one goal throughout the whole movie, and he unfortunately doesn't get utilized on much else besides that. And it's disappointing because I really do like the dynamic that Kristoff and Anna have. And I do like Kristoff as a character. And even though he doesn't have very many in Frozen 2, I do like most of his scenes in Frozen 2. Alright, well, that's about it that I can really say without spoiling. So, if you haven't seen the movie yet, I would definitely go check it out. Okay, so I actually have some words about Kristoff here. As I said, I do like his scenes in this movie, but he gets far too little. I love the idea of him trying to propose to Anna and not really being able to, because that does honestly fit in his character. But I just hate the fact that that's all he does, and by the end of the movie, when he actually finally does propose to her, it almost feels a little shoehorned in, with Elsa just being like, oh yeah, we're done here, and then Kristoff being like, oh wait, one more thing. It's not that it didn't feel earned, because it did feel earned for him to propose to her, but I just thought the moment would have been a little different and not such just a generic proposal scene. Honestly, the majority of my anger towards this whole Kristoff situation comes from the fact that they actually did release some of the outtake songs for Frozen 2 in the deluxe edition soundtrack. Now, what an outtake means, it means it's a song that was initially supposed to be in the movie, but they cut it out for various different reasons. Now, normally I don't get mad at cut songs because I know there's reasons for it, and even with Frozen, though I like the cut songs that they've released, I'm not necessarily angry that they weren't in the movie. But for Frozen 2, initially, Kristoff was supposed to have 2 songs. Lost in the Woods, which managed to make its way into the final film, and Get This Right. Now, Get This Right is mainly a Kristoff song, but it does turn into a Kristoff-Anna duet. Something that I wanted in Frozen 2 from the very beginning. And something I thought that was automatically gonna be in there. Just because you think you're owed a duet, it doesn't mean you're gonna get it. In any case, I will put this song down in the description for those of you who haven't actually had a chance to hear the outtake songs from this movie. It is honestly the perfect song for Kristoff and Anna. It is really cute yet quirky. It's fun and it has a really nice beat. And in this song, basically, it is the proposal scene. In any case, I am glad that they released this song though, even though it didn't make it into the movie, just as a way to see how the movie could have gone a bit differently. I loved everything to do with Elsa, and I really do think finding out about the origin of her powers was a good way to go about the story. Again, they really mix the whole situation nicely into Frozen 1, and it doesn't feel like Frozen 2's plotline just comes out of nowhere. This movie has some really nice songs, but I have to say, my favorite right now has to be Show Yourself. The whole way the scene plays out is just really emotional. I really love the build up to it, and I love how the song starts off soft and simple, and then it gets really into it. It really is a show-stopping moment for me. I really liked the darker little twist towards the end with Elsa freezing and Olaf basically being Thanos and Anna having to destroy the dam, essentially sacrificing Arendelle. But yes, of course, we have to have our happy ending, and those situations don't really last that long, but they still are impactful, and to be fair, I didn't think they would jeopardize Elsa at really any point. So, I'll take it. At the end of the day, would I say Frozen 2 is better than Frozen 1? I don't quite know yet. I go back and forth on it a lot. For me, I think they're about equal in the way there are some things in the movie that Frozen 2 does better than Frozen 1 did, but there are also some things that I think Frozen 1 did better. Honestly, I just think it kind of depends more on what mood you're in, of what you want to watch, and also what kind of storyline interests you more. And also, I think who your favorite character is a big factor as well. I mean, if you loved Elsa, then yeah, you'll probably like Frozen 2 better than Frozen 1. But in any case, there you guys have it. There is my initial thoughts on Frozen 2. I will definitely make a Disney Magic episode at some point, just probably not for a little while. But I want to know what you guys think. Did you think Frozen 2 was better than Frozen 1? And what was your favorite part of the movie? What was your favorite song? Thanks for watching, and see you guys next time.